don't see our quarterback in the draft. Hopefully we get by with the guys we have for a year, and then we go out and we find our guy, whether it's free agency or you make a trade or it's somebody they see in the draft. If it's a 1-year step back in their mind, you bring him back. You bring him back. He just turned 24. I understand it's expensive, but how much is a receiver of his caliber going to cost 2 years from now? The prices aren't going to go down, and your hope is to find another version of him. So what are you going to do? You find another version, and then once he comes up on a contract year, you're going to ship him off too because you don't want to ever pay these. At some point, you got to pay for what you know you're going to get. If it's a 1-year step back in their minds, you have to. If you're looking at this going, man, we're a couple years away from this, and we're going to build through these next couple of drafts, then it doesn't make sense to pay him whatever 25, 26, whatever it's going to be per year until you become competitive, because by that point, maybe he's coming up on the final year of that extension, and you're having to go through this all again when it was, wasted on years where you knew you probably weren't going to compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you got to get used to the sticker shock, right?
Yeah, prices aren't going down.
Right. The one thing you want to be, though, the one thing you don't want to look back and say, if you're Schneider and Pete, is, if a guy, let's say a guy, gets traded for, to a different team or whatever, and you go, oh, man, I would have taken that deal, right? Look, I went on Jake and Stacy yesterday and said, look, you're not going to trade DK Metcalf, okay, for sure, right? Well, what if somebody comes with 5 first? Here, you can have my entire draft and these 2 good players, and we'll give up 10% of our ownership of our team.
Well, then circumstances have changed.
Come on. Obviously that's a ridiculous extreme, but you don't want to, be the guy that was like, oh man, I would have done that deal if you would have, if somebody said, oh man, I would have given you 5 firsts and this and that, and so as far as listening to it, I don't think that there's a difference between listening to offers and shopping him.